And welcome to RightQuote Studios. We are so happy to be in the studio today with Mr. Alan Bridges from Pennica. And so, Alan, just again, great to see you. And I know that you were at a chamber event last night with Alex. And so, we're super excited to see you again and hear a little bit about retirement plan options.
Yep.
So I know David's done his research, so we are ready to hear all about it and just to have you back and have you in the studio.
Glad to be here. Thanks for talking, and it was cool meeting Alex last night and seeing your original office. You moved, and it's good to be growing.
Yeah,
it is
little baby steps.
And it's good to have those problems of growing and growth, and so. I think it's cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool to see growth, and that's why we like working with small businesses too, probably just like you do, because it's like watching a baby grow, right? You can see so much happen in those first few years. So to be a part of it is really, we love it.
We appreciate that too. We at Pennica Financial Group, we always try to learn what the needs of the business owner are.
Yes.
And try to work with them and figure out which type of plan fits them best.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, I'm guessing you enjoy the networking piece too. I know since I left the interior design world and started networking again here in Colorado Springs, it's been, such an amazing blessing. I think Colorado Springs has such a diverse and wonderful potpourri of small businesses as well as people. But
there's so many of them.
But it's been really fun to, like David says, obviously we like working with small businesses. Because they're passionate just like we are. But I think we find too that small businesses is where you get a good taste of the flavor of the community.
I appreciate being in the Springs community now. My previous careers in the military, I moved and the military told me to move. And then as an airline pilot, didn't have to develop relationships in the area. But Colorado Springs is a very relational community. I appreciate that like you do.
It is.
It's fun to network and develop relationships with people.
Yep.
Yeah, it's larger than, we came from Fargo, North Dakota, but definitely it was relationship based there as well. And so I think we find it really fun. I mean, it's a big city, but there are moments when it feels small. And that's good. That's a good thing. Good. That's a sweet thing.
So you both are Air Force, right? Both retired. So you're 26 years, 27
26 years in the Air Force.
And then my wife 20 years, just retired last year. So I mean, that's pretty cool. So what was your background?
In choppers and rescue and special operations, and then
choppers? Yeah, that's awesome.
That was fun.
That is wild. So what was your most exhilarating chopper ride?
Well, the training missions were cool, but when you got to rescue someone, that was neat. Off the coast of Land's End, hovered over a French ship and hoisted off a sailor who had a heart attack.
No way. Wow. And then so what'd you do after the Air Force?
Well, I had fun flying commercially. I went from rudder wing to fixed wing and had fun flying regional jets. And that type of flying appealed to me more. Kind of like going from a lot of landing zones in one day.
Yeah.
We could do that with regional jets. And
Smaller
airports like Fargo. Mm-hmm. Now, they had a tower there, but some places, Williston.
Yeah, right. Oh, yeah.
Click the radio to turn the lights on and call on the radio, say, hey, we're coming in.
Oh, yeah.
We had a small personal aircraft for a while when David was flying out to Montana. And there was a few times I took it for design work out in western North Dakota. And I would say that was accurate. Yes.
I remember the guy because there was nobody there. So he would do something with this gas pump and then somehow pull the thing out there, turn it on. And it was wild because there's nobody there most of the time. It just takes
your credit card. You know what they say? If God wanted man or woman to fly, we would have just given him more money.
That is true.
Credit card, all text, so.
That is true.
Yeah. Wow.
Speaking about more money, we'd like to be able to help small business owners
get
more money in their employees' pockets.
So tell us a little bit about what you do now.
Okay. As financial advisor, we work with individuals or small business owners and help them reward their employees and improve retention.
That's awesome.
We can set up retirement plans, and we definitely focus on the rather than jump to the solutions. I'm going to do that. But we talk about what's going on, what their dream is, and if they can contribute, or they can't yet, or they don't want to, or
So when is it that they should start, like small businesses? So we're talking to you guys now. When is it that we should start? When you're a small business, right when you start turning any profit?
I think the sooner the better, because that lets compound interest help your money grow and your money works for you.
For sure.
The sooner you do it, the better. Now don't do it and go into debt to do it.
Yeah. And so, what is it? What's a normal percentage that somebody should be putting away once they're there, right? Like what's a good gauge to start?
I have to go back to what fits for them.
Yeah, for sure.
If you do something as small as a simple IRA, they can match 3%. Employee puts in 3%, they match for 3%. So that's a pretty small amount to start with, but it's a good.
And that's a simple IRA, right?
A simple IRA.
And those can be put onto any small business, right? And they're generally for like mom and pop, like onesie, twosie type.
Smaller. It's probably the target audience for that. There's some limits on that, but it's a good one to start with. They get to employ, defer some of the employee's salary, and then if the employees put skin in the game, then the mom and pop will match it.
Actually, you know what? My first job out of college, that is what we had. We were a small interior design firm, and she had us all in a simple IRA. So it was great. It was a great plan, and it was definitely affordable at that time. Yes. So it worked really, really well.
For a mom and pop shop, like one or two people, maybe the SEP IRA, Simplified Employee Pension, would be a good option for them. It's all deferred. They don't put any of their money in. It comes from the employer. So it's it's a tax write-off for the employer.
Nice.
And it goes in the employee's plan.
And how much can they put in?
Oh, I have to look at these numbers.
There we go.
Yeah. The lesser of 25% or compensation. I mean, up to it's high limits.
Oh, so,
401k.
61,000. Yeah. Okay. So that's good for people that want to try to put a bunch of money away if they could, right? Where they don't really have an ability elsewhere to do tax deferment, right?
Right.
Because that's the biggest thing.
Deferred. It helps on that. Then they can also, it's optional. If they make money this year and they're not making money next year, that's a good one for them to go into because
they don't have to fund it every year, correct?
Right.
Oh, that's really nice.
There's no employee match like in the simple.
Yeah.
If employees put in 3%, the employer has to come up with a 3% to match it.
Okay.
Got it.
So that's cool. The financial advisor before the Colorado Secure Savings Program points you in a direction that may not be right for you.
Oh, okay.
So if you have a financial advisor you like and you can work with them, talk to them and say, hey, what's a good option for our business? Because the Colorado Secure Savings Program is coming later this year. The pilot enrollment starts October. And you've heard of a Roth IRA, perhaps?
Yes.
It's pretty simple, and you can open up on your own. You don't need the state to open it for you.
Yeah.
And so we prefer to open that if they want to and work with employees that way. But
okay, great. So tell us just a little bit more about that.
Sure. The Colorado Secure Savings Program, Colorado was the 7th state to implement a program like this. There's 14 now across the country, and it's going to happen, like I said, pilot enrollment October of 2022. And basically, you can go through the state plan to open up Roth IRAs for your employees.
Oh, that's cool. So they're mainly managing this pot of money. Then they will. The state will.
And the state's gonna have a contractor.
Got it.
It won't be the state. It'll be separate from the. It's not gonna be in the state coffers.
Yeah, because that's the arm length transaction type of thing, right?
And it is individual retirement account.
Yeah.
It'll be set up for them. It'll be auto enrolled at 5% of their salary, and there's no employee match in that. So in the other plans, they can do employee match, or they can, perhaps design a 401k where they don't have to do a match, but it offers something perhaps better for the employers and employees than a Roth IRA.
So this is mainly for people that their employer is either lazy or just doesn't want to do something like that.
Correct.
So the state is saying, hey, look, for those type of people, we have something for you.
Yes.
And so
force them to. I think it's good to force them to save. It's a good idea.
It is a great idea.
Employees can opt out.
Saving's great, yes.
The employees can opt out. The state did some studies and relied on other studies that said people are much less likely to opt out, and so they're forced into saving for their future, which is a good end.
Yeah.
Then if you made it opt in, fewer people opt in. You don't know how it's going to work totally yet, but it'll be 5% is where it starts with, and increasing like 1% per year.
Oh, that's cool.
If they did nothing, next year it'd be 6%, 7%.
Oh, really?
Will it cap out at some point, or do you think it just keeps
I'm
going?
not sure where the cap is.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know it goes up to 10% or so. Is what
That's cool, though.
The last time I looked at
it.
But
that's great.
So it is good. And I think 10%, you asked about a number before. And I don't want to jump to solutions, but if you can save 10% of your paycheck, that's a good start toward retirement.
I feel like the timing of this too is really good because obviously, again, we hate this pandemic word. I think we're all officially exhausted from it. However, there could potentially, I think a lot of people came up with some really good habits during that time. I think people came up with some, not so great habits. So to have this implemented in the fall of this year
is
a great time.
Is really a great time because
right as people are getting back to work again.
They're getting back to work or they're changing jobs, all those types of things. And I think it's It's a little extra push.
Yep.
So I have to backtrack just a minute because
Sure.
earlier today, David and I were talking about you too. And Alan, we want to know where your passion is and where it came in. Where did this all, like, what made you want to become a financial advisor? That's my
Yes.
favorite story to
Sure.
hear.
Well, I've enjoyed investing through my careers, military and airlines. I never had a 401k until I was in the airlines, but I had the thrift savings plan, which is very similar in the military. So I did have
You had that too,
something
right?
like
Mhm,
it.
mhm.
And you can turn the thrift savings plan into a 401k, move it out like I did into your own IRA. So I had some interesting work with financial advisors a couple of times. I thought, I'd like to do this. It's cool. And then I can sink roots into Colorado Springs, build the relationships out. And
That is very cool.
and being retired, I can have some more flexibility that perhaps a new financial advisor won't have. I can run around and volunteer with the community like I like to do.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Because you have a little bit of back end.
Flexibility.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where do some of your volunteer passions lie, Alan?
Outdoors. I
Okay.
saw one of your notes on a previous podcast about people that could use insurance for outdoors. I volunteer with the Colorado Mountain Club,
Ah,
Ice
cool.
Peak Group,
Yeah.
and Boy Scout Troop up north of the
Oh.
end of town. So I'm
Very
a
cool.
master this year.
We're part of the Girl Scouts.
That's
The girls
awesome.
are.
Yes.
So we sell a lot of cookies. A lot of
Some cookies
cookies.
at
They do a lot of really great activities with the girls, and the troops are a bit smaller right now, but so good. So we can appreciate that too.
Mhm.
And
Appreciate
RightQuote, as we continue to grow, obviously we're excited to do some philanthropy and things like that too.
That's
So
great.
it's one of my favorite questions is to find out too when people do like doing some volunteer work, what they like to get involved in. Because I there's so many out there that
There
I know, a few handfuls. So that's very cool. So how many years have you been a financial advisor?
about 2.5 this spring.
Okay,
That's
awesome.
so you almost started it right during
Yeah,
the
just before
pandemic.
pandemic,
Great
yeah.
job. I mean,
Yeah.
if you can start a business in the pandemic, you can start it anytime,
You
right?
can.
Like if you
Yeah.
can be resilient like that,
Sure.
you can start anything. So I'm very proud that we started it, and I'm very proud of all the other businesses because we had a couple right around us that we insure, and they were small. Okay. And it
Sure.
was beautiful to see them go from small to like hero status. I was like,
That's awesome.
whoa, like, whoa.
Yeah,
They went from
hero
surviving to
status is
thriving.
right.
I mean,
yeah.
beyond thriving, I'm like, man, you're in like 2 states and you're doing a lot of stuff. And then we got another one that they opened like several businesses during that time
That's
because they're
awesome.
just serial entrepreneurs. And we love serial entrepreneurs. We really do.
Speaking of entrepreneurs, I do appreciate meeting you at the Chamber, the Colorado Springs Chamber. Thanks for supporting that and plugging with Mark.
Yeah, we
Biddle
love
and-
it.
Oh,
Really cool.
love Mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had Mark into the podcast
Yeah,
studio,
that's cool.
and it's so great. He's got such a diverse bit of wisdom that it's really lovely to.
And you're an
I'm
ambassador,
a
right?
Chamber ambassador. And
So,
enjoying that.
so give us your plug for why small business owners should join because
actually-
we're firm believers and we
are too.
sing the praises of the chamber because it's opened our eyes to networking.
Well, I met Alex last night at one of the networking events that the Chamber puts on with Visit Colorado Springs. It was at Kawati.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a great place.
It's great.
After hours, business after hours is fun.
Yeah.
And so networking is one reason why a lot of people join the Chamber. The legislative voice and
Mhm.
trying to get stuff like this correct. I think this is a good program.
It's a
The
huge
Colorado Secure
program.
Savings program.
Yeah.
But there are some other programs that may need some education. And the Colorado Springs Chamber, I won't say they lobby, even though they may have lobbyists, but they try to educate our legislators about what's better for business, perhaps.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's important.
They really do go
Yeah.
to the table for small business.
Appreciate about the chamber.
So there's our chamber blip for the day.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I do want to get back to financial advising, Alan,
Sure.
here too. So tell me, what was it in Pennica Financial Group that you found, like what attracted you to them? Because obviously there's lots of
There's a lot of
financial
financial
advisors.
advisors.
So
There's
tell
tons.
tell us what makes it special,
Get
or
to
what.
know the client, where they are and where they want to get to, and help build them the plan to get there.
That's great.
Very nice.
And you don't discriminate whether it's individual or business. Like
Correct.
either one is your wheelhouse. Either
Yes.
one is your wheelhouse.
Okay,
Same
good
with
to
us
know.
too.
Yeah.
It's with them, and it's just like us. We're small business owners, so we're constantly going through challenge after challenge after challenge, so that you kind of get conditioned to solve problems, right? And that's why we love working with small business
And then
because
you
I
love
come
the
from
more
a problem.
complex,
Yeah,
more complex problems. With
Yeah.
businesses will have more complex problems than most individuals.
correct.
Yeah.
Correct. And there's nothing wrong with. I love working with all of our individuals too. It's just that the
Sure.
business owners present a challenge to me that is just wild, and I love
cool.
it. It brings out my passion for it.
I mean, you sent us information about the new Colorado Secure Savings Program, months ago. So
Yeah.
I just like that you're just staying on top of it, staying educated. That's really what we're trying to do. And transparent,
Sure.
that's really helpful too.
So what's your one call to action today for everybody out there listening? How would they get a hold of you first?
They can call our office at 719-572-0447.
And how about your email?
Email alan.bridges@jwcemail.com.
Perfect. And that'll be right on the bottom.
PennicaFinancial.com.
PennicaFinancial.com. Okay, perfect.
So,
Yeah.
Wonderful.
that'd be great.
And what's your one call to action to small business owners today? If somebody's watching this and they're like, man, I love what you're saying, but what's like the next step? Just a call or?
Call's fine. And just sit down and let's talk and educate.
Yeah. Like the biggest part of the process is being honest with it, right? Because if
Definitely.
they're hiding things from you, hiding
can't come up with
expenses, hiding income, hiding whatever it is, you're not getting the full picture. So then your
It's an
advice to
incomplete
them
plan.
is somewhat, not right.
skewed.
Yeah, it's skewed, right? So
yeah.
that is the biggest thing is being honest, right?
Definitely.
Being honest, being transparent, and then just really being honest about what you want too. Because there's some people that really don't care about retirement. They just want the money for the next house or the next, whatever it is. But you can also help them save
We
for that
can.
type of stuff
Yeah,
too,
didn't have
right?
to wait for retirement. We
Correct.
said, okay, we want the house down payment, or we want something in between. Or kids' colleges, we can set up a 5 to 9 plan or some other type of plan, maybe better than a 5 to 9 plan for them.
That's really great. Well, anything else that you want to share with us today, Alan?
I guess I'd just follow up with the call to action. Talk to a financial advisor, interview them. If you don't like that one, find someone that you can work with.
So it's your advice to interview a couple.
Sure.
Don't just go to the one that your brother or your dad says, "Hey, go work with my guy,"
Sure.
right?
Right.
Right.
I mean,
right, because they might not jive with you, right? Because it is a relationship, right? So you got to jive with your financial
Yes.
advisor.
And I'd ask them, one of the questions you should ask them, are you a fiduciary?
Oh,
And
yeah,
that's
yeah,
a
yeah.
fancy term to, are you going to treat my money as if it's your money?
Yeah.
Nice.
Not your commission's in my pocket and the biggest commission for me is best for me.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
It's what the client in mind first.
That's cool.
Yeah. Well,
That's very cool.
well said, Alan. I can genuinely appreciate that. David and I
Yes.
can both appreciate that. So I think that's really important too. And David, you make a really good point. When it does come time to picking, whether it's your broker, any of your service professionals, it is really important to not just go off of somebody else's advice. We have a realtor friend too, and he always says, hey, my friends might do this, but that doesn't mean that I'm just instantaneously going to work with them. Really want to make sure it's a good fit to preserve, not only preserve the friendship, but also get the right fit.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Well, thank you for that.
Awesome.
Thank you. We really
Thanks
appreciate
so much
it, Alan.
for joining us, Alan.
Sure.
All
Thanks.
right. We look forward to the next time.
Appreciate it.
Man on a mission.